everybody. It is Steve Lookner with Agenda Free TV. We have some early missile warnings in southern Israel right now. Early warnings. There you go. We're back on the air because if you were here earlier today, I told you that I had to go to this event for this conference I am attending for the next few days in Chicago for the channel, the Online News Association. But I told you that maybe we would do a stream when I got back. So I got back. Oops, hold on, you can't hear me. You cannot hear me. You cannot hear me. Sorry. I didn't have the microphone in front of me. Hello, it's Steve Lookner. Hey, so we have, first of all, we have some alarms. We have early warning alerts in Israel for missiles. The other thing is we're on the air because, as I mentioned earlier today, oops, hold on. What happened? What happened? So we have a drone alert in the north of Israel, but we're waiting for missile alerts in the south of Israel. Dimona is one of the places under early warning. So we're waiting for that. This looks like maybe a coordinated Hezbollah-Iran thing because we're seeing a rocket alert and some drone alerts in the north, maybe coordinated, and we're waiting for a bunch of drone alerts in the north, and we're waiting for the rocket alerts. We're waiting for the missile alerts in the south. So let's see what happens with the missile alerts. Yeah, I came back. I told you earlier today if I could get on tonight for some extra coverage, I would come on the air because our earlier stream today was shorter than usual because I had to go to this conference thing for the channel. So decided to come on, got back, and we're going to come on and do some updates here, late night updates. Okay, so we're waiting. Well, actually, you know what? I don't see the alerts anymore. It says recent alerts. What happened to before it said early warning? Now it's not anymore. But we do have drone alerts in the north. So it looks like the early warnings went away. So I need to go look that up. All right, so we have some drone alerts here. Oh, so some rocket alerts in the north. Northeastern Israel. Again, more drone alerts up here in northeastern Israel. So I just want to get caught up on the different things that have happened since our stream earlier today. Hey, thank you to our moderators, by the way. We have Leslie Ladyhawk is moderating. Thank you, Leslie. We also have moderating. Hang on a moment. Well, we know those drone alerts are still going off. We also have moderating Good Luck Duck, Idaho Star, Matthew Kohai 3, thank you. Linda Belk, Larry Misha on X, thank you. And hang on a moment here. Kay Lowry Body, Margaret Riley moderating on Facebook right now. And Andrea Holder, thank you so much. Let's see what's happening. Give me a moment. Again, we have some drone and rocket alerts. A bunch of drone alerts still going on in northern Israel. By the way, a quick thank you also to FlesherNet for the memberships. Thanks, FlesherNet. Oh, I need to put that. I need to put the message in the chat again about the super chats not working. Do we need that message up or not? On YouTube, YouTube is fixing a thing, so there's no super chat option for this stream. Okay, so I won't put the message up, but if anybody asks, it's a YouTube issue and it's being fixed. All right. Anyways. What I'm going to do is, I thanked some other people before in the chat. Also, I can't even go back and see. See all of the people who have given. I thanked some people in the chat before. I'm sorry if I missed. I thanked people in the chat for memberships before. I'm sorry if I missed any more, but it's all messed up. It'll be fixed soon. All right, let's get to the updates here. And thanks to all of our members. Jesus Chavez is watching. Our member. Thank you, Jesus. Let's see here. I'm looking for updates about what just happened. It says there were alarms from a launch from Iran, but whatever happened to that? I don't have any update on whether there was a missile that actually got shot down or anything. I'll keep an eye out for that. I want to talk about a couple things here. How about the Kuwait thing? Here, hold on. Hold on. Give me a moment. I got to pull it up here. One thing that happened is, Kuwait, I think, announced this. There was an attack in Kuwait that I wanted to mention. Look, it's Kuwait's ministry. Here. This is from Kuwait News Agency. Kuwait's Ministry of Electricity, Water, and Renewable Energy said a service building at one of the power and water distillation plants. It's not a desalination plant, but it's a power and water distillation plants, was damaged in a brutal Iranian attack, resulting in the death of a worker of Indian nationality. The technical and emergency teams have immediately dealt with the repercussions of the incident in line with the approved emergency plan. That was several hours ago from the Kuwait News Agency. Oh, yes, as one of our viewers mentioned, there was a gaggle, Hoagie said. So I'm going to play you what President Trump had to say on Air Force One. He talked about Iran. I wanted to give you that update too. Hold on. We lost some audio here for a second. Let's get it back. We lost the Tel Aviv feed briefly. Tel Aviv feed? Should be coming back in a second. Oh no. For the moment, let's do this. That's just Beirut. I have a Jerusalem camera too. Just hang tight. Maybe we'll put that up on the screen. Okay, I can see Jerusalem. I can see Jerusalem. There's Jerusalem up there. More early warnings, one of our viewers said. Are there early warnings? Yes, we have more early warnings. Look, early warnings, southern Israel. Early missile warnings in southern Israel. There you go. Again, the reason we're on late is because I had to do a short stream earlier today because I had to go to this conference thing. So I said if I can get on later, I'll come on later and we'll do some more streaming. There wasn't like one big thing that happened. It was that I wanted to basically come on and do an update. Oh, I got the Tel Aviv cam back for whatever it's worth. All right, so let's keep an eye on this. We're waiting for the missile alert. Yeah, I have events the next couple days on and off. On and off. But we'll still be able to cover news. Yeah, Bob Swagger mentioned the Brent crude price. I was just looking at the Brent crude price before I came on the air, but I'm going to check it one more time right now. It is, Brent is 115, up about 2.5% today, and WTI crude is 101.5, up about 2%. All right, so we're waiting for the missile alerts in Israel. MC said there were 2 possible hijacking attempts today. I saw some claims online claiming there was a possible hijacking attempt, and then I saw another post that said it was just like a mentally disturbed individual. I'll have to look it up, but I haven't seen confirmed that there was any kind of serious hijacking attempt. But I'll look it up. We're going to play you what Trump had to say. We're waiting for the missile alert here. Waiting for the missile alert. Joe All in One says, I still can't believe we're in the middle of this mess. Okay, we do have missile alerts now in southern Israel. A number of missile alerts, Beersheba and surrounding areas. Beersheba and surrounding areas. I don't think we'll see anything on the Jerusalem cam. Jerusalem's up here. I'll turn on the audio from the Jerusalem cam just to have it on. But these are missile alerts in southern Israel. You can see them on the screen right now. Excuse me. By the way, thank you so much to Baron Crosswinds. Baron gave 10 people memberships. That's very nice of you, Baron. Thank you, Baron Crosswinds. Thank you, Baron. Now, I don't know if any, I assume missiles are coming in, but I don't know, they could be one missile and it got shot down. I don't know. So we're waiting to hear more, but you can see a bunch of alerts are still up there right now. A bunch of alerts. Wow, and also Tilly T gave 20 memberships. That's very generous of you. Tilly T, make sure you thank somebody like Tilly T if they gave you a membership or a gift subscription. Also, Baron Crosswinds, thank you. Very nice of you. All right, so now we have just one left. A couple left. A couple left. Let me see. I'm going to check and see if there's any reporting on this. We do have the Tel Aviv feed, too. Hold on. What am I showing you right now? Why is this not working? Hold on a second here. Now I'm confused. What do I have on? All right, so I need, that's that one. So we'll put Tel Aviv over here. Trying to. That's Tel Aviv. Then we have just give me a moment here. Gotta organize all this video. Okay, that's, we want this to be Beirut. We want this to be Beirut. Good. Oopsie. And then we need, what is this? Where did that one go? Oh, I know what we have to do. I think. That's there. That's there. There we go. Now we have Beirut, Jerusalem, and Tel Aviv. How about that? We got all three of them. Thank you also to Mr. Blade Master for the memberships. Thank you so much, Mr. Blade Master. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, regarding the missile alert, I have not yet seen anything about the missile or missiles. I'm looking here to see. I'm looking here. I need about, hold on. Give me about a minute here. Give me about a minute, guys. Hold on a second. I'm going to come right back. Just need a minute. Hang on. Hang tight. Now, you can't even read what that says. Steve will be back in 1 minute. Hold on. My apologies. My apologies. We're back. Is there anything about the missiles? Let's see here. N12 News says the launch was outside of the country's borders? Is that what it says? Hang on. Or did the missile maybe get shot down outside the country's borders? I don't know. I have to look this up. I'm not sure what happened with that last missile alert. I'm looking right now. By the way, N12 News reports there are reports of new strikes in Tehran and in the city of Abadan in southwestern Iran. Oh, Manny posted about it? Somebody said Manny Fabian posted about it. We talked with Manny earlier today. Manny said... why am I not seeing what he said? Manny said the latest Iranian ballistic missile attack on Israel was intercepted. The small number of missiles triggered sirens in southern Israel. There were no reports of injuries. Manny said something interesting today when we did an interview with him, which you can go see if you want on our previous stream. But he said that in Israel, the press are not allowed to tell you the exact number of missiles in a given missile wave. So they're not allowed to say 3 missiles or 2 missiles or 4 missiles. All right, so interception. I wanted to mention a couple things here. I got to keep an eye on the oil prices too. Hold on. It's a lot to keep in mind. Oh, I'm seeing Brent at about 115 and crude and WTI at about 101, which is what it was when we came on. You can see this from Reuters. Stocks dive in Asia. Crude heads for record monthly rise. Stock markets slumped in Asia Monday as investors dug in for a protracted Gulf conflict that already has oil prices heading for a record monthly rise, bringing a spike in inflation and the risk of recession to much of the globe. The Financial Times said, well, we're going to watch this ourselves. President Trump said the U.S. could seize Kharg Island, but that also that a ceasefire could come quickly. Pakistan said it was preparing to host meaningful talks to end the conflict in the coming days, even though Iran earlier accused Washington of preparing a land assault as the U.S. military sends more troops to the region. We also saw the Houthis enter the war this weekend, launching some strikes at Israel. This is interesting. A senior geoeconomics analyst who Reuters talked to, named Madison Cartwright, said, Iran's control of the Strait of Hormuz, along with their capacity to disrupt global energy and food markets, and sustained missile and drone capabilities give it little incentive to concede, pressuring the U.S. to escalate. He's saying that given that they control the Strait of Hormuz, they have missile and drone capabilities, and they are able to disrupt global energy and food markets, that's not going to make them want to just say, okay, U.S., you get whatever you want, which could lead to the U.S. escalating things. Oh, wow. This expert at the Commonwealth Bank of Australia told Reuters, we expect the war to run into at least until June, with the risk tilted to a longer conflict. So again, they talked to a senior geoeconomics analyst at Commonwealth Bank of Australia who said, we expect the war to run at least into June. Reuters says the clampdown on the Strait of Hormuz has sent prices for oil, gas, fertilizer, plastic, and aluminum surging, along with fuel for planes and shipping. Prices for food, pharmaceuticals, and petrochemical products are all set to rise. This is bad news for Asia, as much of the region is heavily dependent on energy from the Middle East. Japan's Nikkei index shed another 4.7%, bringing losses for March to almost 14%. That's Asian stocks today, guys. Hang on, I got to pull something up here. Currently, the Japanese Nikkei index is down 3.3%. Brent crude rose to over $115 a barrel, bringing its gains for the month to 60%, and topping the jump that followed Iraq's invasion of Kuwait in 1990. U.S. crude climbed to around $102. I think right now it's in the 101s, but I'm not sure, marking a monthly rise of 53%, says Reuters. The global head of economics at J.P. Morgan said to Reuters, the longer the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, the sharper the drawdown in buffer supplies that could spark dramatic increases in the price of crude oil, natural gas, and other commodities, he warned. A scenario in which the strait remains closed for an additional month would be consistent with oil prices rising toward $150 a barrel and constraints on industrial consumers of energy supply. Again, that's the global head of economics at J.P. Morgan. He said a scenario in which the strait remains closed for an additional month would be consistent with oil prices rising towards $150 a barrel and constraints on industrial consumers of energy supply. Reuters says the inflationary threat has led investors to revise up the outlook for interest rates almost everywhere. Markets now imply 12 basis points of tightening by the Fed this year, compared with 50 basis points of cuts a month ago. Ten-year Treasury yields are up roughly 47 basis points for the month so far at 4.428%. Our viewer Hank says we'll see 5% inflation in the U.S. if it lasts that long. I mentioned earlier today, I was reading an article in Bloomberg, which was similar to an article, which said something similar to an article I read in Financial Times recently. Basically saying, if the Strait doesn't open soon, you would expect prices to go up by a lot because there's going to be not enough oil for demand. Yeah, Reuters, this Bloomberg article today, the Strait of Hormuz oil shock is now heading west. It says, if the strait stays closed, the world will have to significantly reduce its oil and gas consumption, but not before prices spike to a level that forces consumers and businesses to fly, drive, and spend much less. Again, I'm going to repeat that comment. Bloomberg says if the strait stays closed, the world will have to significantly reduce its oil and gas consumption, but not before prices spike to a level that forces consumers and businesses to fly, drive, and spend much less. Give me a moment here. They also say traders, analysts, and economists are predicting that global fossil fuel demand and by implication economic activity will have to meaningfully reduce to match the reduced supply if the strait stays closed. They also say U.S. government officials and Wall Street analysts are starting to consider the prospect that oil prices might surge to an unprecedented $200 a barrel. The energy, they also say, Bloomberg today, the energy industry is warning that the crisis is just beginning. In conversations with more than 3 dozen oil and gas traders, executives, brokers, shippers, and advisors over the last week, one message was repeated over and over. The world still hasn't grasped the severity of the situation. That is from Bloomberg. If you want to read the article, it's titled, "The Strait of Hormuz Oil Shock is Now Heading West." Oh, I'm sorry. The other article wasn't Financial Times. It was a recent article in Foreign Policy, where they viewed an energy expert, and he said something very similar, saying that, look, there's this deficit of oil. There's a lack. There's going to be an undersupply of oil because the Strait of Hormuz has been cut off. So what's going to happen is you're going to have prices rise, and the amount of oil prices will need to rise to a point where people use less oil to match the reduced supply. Those have to balance, the demand and the supply. Do we have I don't see is there, there's early warning. Hold on, there's early missile warning. Give me a second. Early missile warning in southern Israel. Hold on one moment here. Early warning. Uh-oh, I missed. Did Tilly T give more memberships? I don't know, but thank you, Tilly T, for the memberships. Simon B thinks obviously the strait is going to get reopened. So we're waiting for missile alerts. We just had some missile alerts in the south a short while ago. The red areas are early warning areas. So for some reason I have the Tel Aviv sound on, which we don't need at the moment. So we're waiting here to see what happens with these missile alerts. Well, we have early warnings right now. Yasmin thinks all will be intercepted. Ed Scarborough says, I don't think Iran is going to give up anything voluntarily. We have more missile alerts in southern Israel. Look, Beersheba and other areas in southern Israel. Missile alerts. Missile alerts. I don't have a southern Israel camera, so I can't show you that, but I can show you the missile alerts. Darcy Lowe thinks Iran is angry tonight. Well, it's daytime there. It's 7:37 a.m. Israel time. No, these I believe are still coming from Iran. I didn't specifically check this one, but the last one was from Iran. I'll double check though. I'll double check. I have to see what was said. It was Iran. Missile alerts. Brandon says third launch already today. When we came on the year, there was an early warning, but I don't know that there was a launch. Then there was an early warning and a launch. Now we have another early warning and another launch. FV Waters claims that siphoning gas theft is rising? Our viewer said that? That I haven't heard about. Okay, the alerts are going away now. I'm going to check and see what happened. I'm going to put the audio on from the Beirut stream. If I can. All right, let me check for updates on this. Let me check for updates on on what happened. Give me a moment here. Let's see what we can find. I have not seen any reports yet about what happened. I don't want that on. I don't want the construction noise on. Oh no. We might have to put on the sound from the Jerusalem camera. I mean. Mer News, state media, Mer News says this is the third round of Iranian missile attacks this morning. Still waiting for some reporting about what just happened missile-wise. Nothing yet. No updates yet. I am seeing a video posted by the Hot News Telegram, which, what am I looking at? I can't even tell what I'm looking at. Am I seeing an interception or something? I don't know. Sounds like there has been 3 different missile launches at Israel in the last hour or so. One moment here. One moment. Where did that go? Almog Boker says, what? What's the translation? He said something and I don't know what he said. I don't know. Maybe it's an interception. Let's see here. The Hot News, who I follow, claims that launches were intercepted again. Is that what Manny Fabian is going to report? Were they intercepted again? Three Iranian missile attacks in the last hour on Israel. Yes, N12 News is now saying that the latest launch was intercepted. No casualties from the latest missile launch, and it was intercepted. In case you missed it, JMD Berry says, I thought Iran's military was gone. In case you missed it, President Trump said a couple hours ago, he said, big day in Iran. Many long sought after targets have been taken out and destroyed by our great military, the finest and most lethal in the world. God bless you all. President DJT. Speaking of what President Trump said, I wonder, has the White House yet posted the video of him on Air Force One? Sometimes they post the video. Yes, I have video. It's not that long of Trump speaking on Air Force One. I think we should look at it. I think we should look at what President Trump had to say on Air Force One. How does that sound? Maybe for the moment we'll make this Beirut in Jerusalem, right? And then we take this off, right? And then we take this. Oopsie. Yeah, I want to hear what he had to say. Then we're going to take this, put this here. Okay, good. We're going to take away this. Hold on. We're going to listen to President Trump earlier this evening. Okay. We need this here. One moment. There he is there. And this is going to be from earlier this evening. Earlier tonight. So we can all see what he had to say. Get a little bigger for you. All right, let's see what he had to say. President Trump on Air Force One, answering some questions.
Hello, everybody.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
So we've had very good negotiations today with Iran, getting a lot of the things that they should have given us a long time ago. We'll see how it works out, but they're very good. Moving along very nicely. And they've destroyed a lot of additional targets today, and they've define it exactly, but they gave us, I think out of a sign of respect, 20 boats of oil, big boats of oil, going through the Hormuz Strait. And that's taking place starting tomorrow morning. Over the next couple of days, a lot of boats. And I would only say that we're doing extremely well in that negotiation. But you never know with Iran, because we negotiate with them and then we always have to blow them up. Whether it's the B-2 bombers or just terminating, as an example, the Iran nuclear deal done by Barack Hussein Obama, probably the worst deal we've ever done as a country, one of the dumbest deals we've ever done. But I terminated it, unfortunately, otherwise right now they'd have a nuclear weapon. Then we did the attack with the B-2 bombers and we stopped them from having nuclear. And now we had to blow them up again. And we will probably, I think we'll make a deal with them, pretty sure. Whether it's possible, we won't. But we've had regime change, if you look already, because the one regime was decimated, destroyed, they're all dead. The next regime is mostly dead. And the third regime, we're dealing with different people than anybody's dealt with before. It's a whole different group of people. So I would consider that regime change. And frankly, they've been very reasonable. So I think we've had regime change. I mean, we can't do much better than that. The regime that was really bad, really evil was the first one. That was done. The second was appointed, and they're gone. They're all dead, other than one who may have a little life in him. And then there really are the third group, and the third group of people that seem to be much more reasonable. It truly is regime change, and regime change is an imperative. But I think we have it automatically. I did something today. We just got these in from the architects. A lot of people are talking about how beautiful the ballroom is. For 150 years, they've wanted to build a ballroom at the White House. And other presidents have wanted it. When we have dignitaries coming like President Xi of China or anybody else, we have very small rooms. They're not big enough to handle the kind of capacity that you need. And this is the same height as the White House. It's an incredible fitting. You see what that is, right? Nice. I'll show you. Here's another view. This is coming from right opposite the Treasury building. Beautiful Capitol. Beautiful building. One of the, I think it'll be the finest ballroom of its kind anywhere in the world. A lot of people are giving it really good reviews. Some are giving it reviews without even seeing the building, because this just came out today. These pictures were just made today. We got rid of, quite a while ago, the stairs on the south side, and it's become really beautiful. But it matches and fits the White House. It's also capable of handling the inauguration. We have all bulletproof glass. We have drone-proof roofs, ceilings, everything's drone-proof and bulletproof. And unfortunately, we're living in an age where that's a good thing. And this is the view from the Treasury, opposite the Treasury. Let me see another one of them. Here's a view from on the south with the porch, which is a porch and it's also a fire stair, basically leading down to the grounds. And that porch will be magnificent, looking in between the columns. And they no longer, we took the stairs out that were on the south side and really replaced them with these stairs. So you have an open porch and you have the closed porch under the columns, overlooking the Washington Monument, the Jefferson Memorial, and the Lincoln Memorial / Monument. So that's great. This is a view of the columns as they are going to be made. They're going to be hand carved and they're beautiful. Top of the line, there'll be Corinthian, which is considered the best, most beautiful by far. Okay?
What's your timeline?
That's it. Timeline. So we're ahead of schedule and under budget. And all of this money, all of the money paid are paid by myself and donors. It's all donors. There's not one dime of government money going into the ballroom. Now the military is building a big complex under the ballroom. which has come out recently because of a stupid lawsuit that was filed. But the military is building a massive complex under the ballroom, and that's under construction, and we're doing very well. So we're ahead of schedule. It's part of it. And the ballroom essentially becomes a shed for what's being built under the military, including from drones and including from any other thing. The glass on the windows, you see the big windows, the glass is extremely thick. It's high-grade bulletproof glass, so all of the windows are bulletproof. I think the Times wrote to you, some of the windows are fake. We have no fake windows. They said, they talked about a stairway in the south. We don't have a stairway in the south. That was replaced a long time ago. But this is a view of it from the north, and that's, if you see it, it fits in with the White House. It's almost a twin to the White House. It's something we just wanted to pay tribute to the White House. And so that fits in beautifully. Let me just see another one. Here's another one. Wait, excuse me, wait. I thought I'd do this now because it's easier. I'm so busy that I don't have time to do this. But I'm fighting wars and other things. But this is very important because this is going to be with us for a long time, and it's going to be, I think it'll be the greatest ballroom anywhere in the world. It's the highest level. Same height, exact height, if not higher, same height as the White House, exactly the same height. And if you look, you have the White House over here, you have this, and that's a duplicate of the wall, so it pays total homage to the White House, which is, I think, very important.
Sir, Mr. President,
deal in Iran this upcoming week?
Say it?
Sir, could you foresee a deal in Iran this upcoming week?
I do see a deal in Iran, yeah.
Mr. President,
Could be soon.
are you considering still putting boots on the ground, and would you do that without going to Congress?
I just have lots of alternatives. We have tremendous numbers of ships over there. We don't need them though because of, you know, the power. Look, I would say we're just like we're ahead of schedule on the ballroom. In a much bigger way, we're ahead of schedule with Iran. We're weeks ahead of schedule. If you would have said that in 3 days we were going to knock out 158 ships, their entire Navy, which we did, we knocked out their entire Air Force. We knocked out most of their missiles. That's why you see missile attacks, but they're down to they're sputtering. And we have a group, it's really a new regime. It's a group of people that we've never dealt with before, that are acting very reasonable. It is truly regime change.
Is Khamenei's son still alive, sir? Is he a part of these
We think he may be. Nobody's heard about him. He may be alive, but he's obviously very seriously in trouble. He's seriously wounded.
You had offered that 15-point plan to Iran. Did they ever come back with a
Yeah, they
response?
came back on the 15-point
What did they
plan.
say?
They gave us most of the points. Why wouldn't they?
And you make it sound like they made some concessions. Can you identify those?
Well, they're agreeing with us on the plan. I mean, we asked for 15 things, and for the most part, we're going to be asking for a couple of other things. And just to prove that they're serious, they gave us all these votes. When I talked about 4 days ago a present, I said they gave me a present. But I didn't think I was at liberty to say what it was. What it was 8 plus 2. It's 10 massive boatloads of oil. And today they gave us another present. They gave us 20 boatloads of oil. That starts being shipped tomorrow. We're having very good meetings, both directly and indirectly, and I think we're getting a lot of very important points.
Sir, were you caught off guard when the Senate passed the DHS funding bill?
It's a shame. They should really just go to a filibuster. They should terminate the filibuster.
And will you compare?
And they should vote. That's what I think. Look, I think the Senate is playing it too soft. The Republicans are wonderful people, but we're dealing with very sick individuals. The Democrats are sick. There's something wrong. They're like terrorists. And we have to protect our country. We have to protect our border. We have to protect our wall. If it was up to them, they'd open up the wall, they'd let millions of people pour into our country again, and we've all been through that. And I don't care if you're liberal or you're conservative. What we have now is we have a beautiful, closed border. We're getting murderers out of our country that Biden let in, the administration, the Democrats. We're getting the drug lords out of our country. We're bringing them back to other countries where they came from all over the world. We have great crime numbers despite the fact that they let in 25 million people. And we're focused on the bad ones. I mean, the ones that came in, we'll work on something, but we have to get the killers out. We have to get the drug dealers out. We have to get the criminally insane. We have people that are criminally insane. They are unbelievably violent people that come out of insane asylums. The Democrats want them protected. I want them out. They have to be
Would you
out.
sign a DHS deal
You
without
can't have a
ICE?
country if they're here.
Would you sign a DHS deal without ICE funding in it?
ICE is vital to the well-being of our country. ICE, first of all, they're great patriots, but they are physically and mentally very strong people. And they are able to protect us from the animals that have been sent in, allowed to be sent in by the Biden administration, where you have people, jails were prisons from Venezuela, from the Congo, from all over the world, from every continent. They were allowed to come into our country, totally unchecked, totally unvetted. You can't have a soft, weak, sad person deal with these. You need strong people. Now, they love our country. They're very brave. They're very strong, like some of these guys. But you have to have these people removed or you don't have a country. So we had the best crime numbers that we've had, murder numbers, the best in 125 years. Think of it. Since the year 1900, before my father was born by a lot, we have the best crime numbers. And we're going to keep it that way. And that's despite the fact that so many criminals were allowed into our country. So we need ICE, we need Border Patrol. The last thing you people want to see is our country overrun again by criminals, and that's not going to happen. We're not going to let that happen. And by the way, our country doesn't want that.
Mr. President, some Republicans, including Senator Mike Lee, say reconciliation won't work to pass the Save America Act because it's not budget related. What's your response to that?
Well, they say, and they'll have to, the parliamentarians going to have to make a decision on that. But I say, end the filibuster, terminate the filibuster, just vote, and you'll get everything you want. You get all 5 things. We have voter ID, we have proof of citizenship. It's so important. Mail-in ballots have to be stopped, with exceptions for the military, for sick people, people that are sick, people disabled, for people that are traveling. If you're traveling, you can vote. But other than that, mail-in ballots are inherently dishonest. Jimmy Carter and his Carter Commission said you can't have mail-in ballots. We're the only country in the world that has mail-in ballots. We're the only country in the world that has, you know, we have a big case coming in the Supreme Court that had to do with the babies of slaves after the Civil War. And instead of that, it's being used as a way for rich countries and thousands of people from China coming in and getting citizenship for people within their family. This is not what they meant when they did that. So that's a big decision coming up. But if you look at it and you look at what we've done here, we have 5 points. We don't want men playing in women's sports. The Democrats do. We don't want transgender mutilization of our children. The Democrats are just fine with it. You could do every child in America, they'd be very happy. We don't want the mutilization of our children. It's transgender, and we're not going to have it. So we want to go into those things. There are 5 points. And with the filibuster termination, you could vote them all in. The Republicans would have the vote.
Mr. President, Leader Thune told me that they do not have the votes to terminate the filibuster.
I know,
How will you get
but
around
that's
that?
part of being a leader. You have to get the votes.
Do you have confidence in
I mean,
Leader Thune?
I like him so much. He's a high quality person. And he told me the same thing. We don't have the votes. Well, he's only a couple of votes short, but that's what being a leader is. You have to get the votes. You have to get the votes. And those people will not be able to withstand the onslaught because Republicans and the country wants it. You know, it's polling at 87% voter ID. Think of it. We're talking about Save America. And it's not Save Act, it's Save America Act, because it's saving America. Save Act, nobody knows what it's saving. It's the Save America Act. And you have to have it. You have to have it. The Save America Act, voter ID, all of these things, proof of citizenship. It's an 87% issue with all voters, including Democrats. The only ones that don't want it are Schumer and these corrupt Democrat leaders, because it will not give them the ability to cheat in an election. Look, why wouldn't you want voter ID? There's not a reason in the world you wouldn't want it except to cheat. And if they don't cheat, their policy is so bad they'll never win another election.
Mr. President, on Friday you mentioned that Cuba will be next. What did you mean by that exactly?
And who will be next?
Cuba.
Yeah, Cuba's going to be next. Cuba's going to be.
In what way?
Cuba's a mess. It's a failing country, and they're going to be next. Within a short period of time, it's going to fail. And we will be there to help it out. We'll be there to help our great Cuban Americans out who were thrown out of Cuba. In many cases, their family members were mutilated and killed by Castro. No, Cuba's going to be next, yeah.
Is it just to allow the Russians to go into Cuba?
Are you considering withdrawing Casey Means for Surgeon General and nominating someone else?
Well, we're looking at a lot of different things, and I don't know how she's doing in the nomination process. I'm more focused on Iran, but something like that would be possible.
Mr. President, do you still have confidence?
We certainly have a lot of great candidates with it.
Do you still have confidence in Tulsi Gabbard, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Follow up
I
on.
mean, she's a little bit different in her thought process than me, but that doesn't make somebody not available to serve.
Is she on the same page
I
as
would
you?
I would say that I'm very strong on the fact that I don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Because if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it immediately. I think she's probably a little bit softer on that issue, but that's okay. Some people are. Most people aren't. Most people are saying thank you very much for doing what you did. They are decimated right now. They're going to give up nuclear weapons. They're going to give us the nuclear dust. They're going to do everything that we want to do. And you know what? They're going to go on and maybe have a great country again. But if they don't do that, they're not going to have a country. They're not even going to have a country. So she's softer on that issue, but I have other people, not too many. That's an issue that we've had great support. You saw the CNN poll where Trump with MAGA, and I think MAGA is most of the Republican Party, is 100% approval. In fact, the young gentleman that does the poll was very good, actually, because he's honest. He said, I've never seen 100% before. I'm 100% in the CNN poll, which just came out. Thank you very much, everybody.
One more thing on Cuba. There's a report that the U.S. is going to let a Russian oil tanker go to Cuba. Is that true?
Well, we have a tanker out there. We don't mind having somebody get a boatload because they have to survive. It
So
wouldn't bother
that
me.
report is true as far as you know?
Well, I would say, I told them, if a country wants to send some oil into Cuba right now, I have no problem with it.
Do you worry that that helps
Whether it's Russia or not, what?
Do you worry that that helps Vladimir Putin, though?
Doesn't help him. He loses one boatload of oil. That's all it is. It's fine.
President,
If he wants to do that, and if other countries want to do it, it doesn't bother me much. It's not going to have an impact. Cuba's finished. They have a bad regime. They have very bad and corrupt leadership. And whether or not they get a boat of oil, it's not going to matter. I'd prefer letting it in, whether it's Russia or anybody else, because the people need heat and cooling and all of the other things that you need. Go ahead.
No, the issue of the Strait of Hormuz and Iran control of it and charging tolls, what do you think about that?
Well, I have to find out if it's true. They're going to do whatever they have to do. We could close that up in 2 minutes. We could close that up so fast your head would spin.
Do you want to see Gulf countries that are being attacked by Iran to start to fight back?
They are fighting back. Saudi Arabia is fighting back hard. Qatar is fighting back. UAE is fighting back. Kuwait is fighting back. Bahrain is fighting back. They're all fighting back. Actually, they were surprised to be hit. I was very surprised they got hit. And once they got hit, they started fighting very well. We're very strong communications with all of those countries, and they've all been fighting. They're 100% on our side.
Mr. President, how long can you pay TSA workers for? How long can you pay TSA workers for from the One Big Beautiful Bill?
Well, we're going to pay them for as long as we have to, and I will tell you, the ICE workers have been amazing, and that's helping people with their bags. It's very interesting. We put ICE there, and ICE got a very unfair press. They're doing an amazing job getting hardened criminals, murders. 11,888 murders were allowed to come into our country through Biden. And ICE has been amazing. Now, we said, give us a little hand during this period of time, because this is caused by Democrat terrorists. These people are sick. They don't care about our country. They don't care about people. But what it's all about really is they want to have open borders, and they want to have criminals come into our country so they get more votes, because they're losing votes fast. Look at how I did with the Hispanic population. And now I'm doing even better with the Hispanic population. And that's bad for them. They always had it. Now they don't have it anymore. These are people that want our country to fail, and the voters see that. Thank you very
Mr.
much.
President, have a
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, so I wanted to play that because President Trump talked a bunch about Iran and answered some questions about Iran. Where is...
Good morning, everybody. Steve, you there?
Hold on. Where is the Tel Aviv camera? There's Tel Aviv. And President Trump did say, among other things, he said, I think we'll make a deal with Iran, but it's possible we won't. I think we'll make a deal with them, but it's possible we won't. All right, so we got to see President Trump talk. He did talk some about his ballroom too, but that's beside the point. That's a little off topic for us. I wanted to mention here, first of all, I want to shout out, thanks so much to Bad Doge for the memberships. Bad Doge gave 20 people memberships. That's very nice of you, Bad Doge. Also, thanks to our moderators, we have moderating right now. I think is Robert's May Queen over there? Am I remembering right? Am I remembering right? Can't see. Thought I said Robert's May Queen is there. Thank you. And Good Luck Duck Idaho star Matthew Kohai 3. Also, thanks to Meat Missile for the gift sub. That's very nice of you, Meat Missile. And also, hold on a second here. Linda Belglary, Misha over on X, and Kay Lowry Body, Andrea Holder, Margaret Riley on Facebook. Very much appreciate it. We're doing a late night stream because I had to end the earlier stream today a bit early because I went to attending this online news conference thing, Online News Association conference in Chicago, and I went to an event today, so I couldn't stream during that, so I decided to come on again after for some more updates. And I did want to mention that, where was it here? Where is this thing I saw earlier? The Wall Street Journal reports that President Trump is weighing a military operation to go in and get Iran's enriched uranium. Iran is believed to have, what, about 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium? So the Wall Street Journal says he has not made a decision. They say he is weighing a military operation to extract nearly 1,000 pounds of uranium from Iran. That is a mission that would likely involve American forces being inside Iran for days or longer. Also, they report that he wants Iran to surrender that material as a condition for ending the war. The Wall Street Journal says that for that operation, I'm going to have to put on a different volume here. I'm going to put the Jerusalem audio on. The Wall Street Journal says that to go in and get, so remember, this is me talking. To go in and get the uranium, first of all, it may be in multiple sites, not just one. Second of all, it may be buried deep underground at one or more of the nuclear sites that was attacked by the U.S. last year. So obviously, you can't just send in like 5 special forces troops in for an hour. They're not going to be able to dig down to the ground into the ground with their hands. So you'd have to do things like bring in heavy machinery to dig. And to do that, you'd have to have some kind of airfield for them to land. So you'd either have to take over an airfield or build one. And then you'd have to bring in that heavy machinery. And then you need lots of air power, for example. This is just based on other articles I've read, to provide coverage and protection for the troops on the ground and the assets on the ground. So you need all that air power, and I believe air defense. So you would need all that stuff. So we're not talking about, a quick in and out kind of thing. And the Wall Street Journal in their report tonight says that that you'd have to have U.S. forces flying to the sites, likely under fire, and then the troops would need to secure perimeters, because you can't just say, hey, excavators, go in there with those excavators and start digging a big hole in the ground without protecting them. They would also need to check for mines and booby traps, and also, it's very delicate transporting this enriched uranium. It's believed to be in 40 to 50 special cylinders, like that resemble scuba tanks, says the Wall Street Journal. And again, you need an airfield for this operation. So you either have to take one or make one. And the Wall Street Journal says experts they talk to says this operation would take days or even a week. So they say President Trump is considering such an operation. But what they say matches. We've talked on earlier streams. I've looked at other articles and told you what other articles said about what would be involved in getting this equipment, and it's similar. Also, it may not all be at one site. It may be at multiple sites. Zach S. Grinder says, of course, it would take days. But obviously, if you have this giant digging operation going on, right, that's something that Iran might want to target. So you need to protect it when you're there. Also, I remember other articles that said you need something like 1,000 personnel to do everything that needs to be done. Because we read some articles about this weeks ago. Taste Vim said, look up the Wired article. I never read the Wired article on this. Did they have an article? I know we read multiple other articles. You can read it if you want. I haven't read it, but there is an article in Wired that our viewer mentioned that says how Trump's plot to grab Iran's nuclear fuel would actually work. You can find that in Wired magazine on March 26th. Okay. Hang on a moment here. Actually, there was an article about it back on March 9th in The War Zone. It's a very good military news site, The War Zone. I'll post a link to this article. Commando raid to secure Iran's enriched uranium may become a very risky necessity. A raid is fraught with risk, but it may become the only way to make sure the nuclear material is safe and out of the regime's hands. And I'm going to post a link to this in the chat. The War Zone. let me show you, see what it mentions here. Options for a ground raid, it says. The first question is, where is it? The second question is, how do we get it and how do we get physical control? How do we get to it and how do we get physical control? A U.S. official said, according to Axios. I guess Axios had an article about this, which we might have read earlier. They say it would likely involve special operations forces alongside, special operators alongside scientists. Oh. Hold on. Let's see here. Risk and complexities. Executing any special operations raid targeting Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium, wherever it might be held, would not be without immense challenges. For one, there are real questions about what it would take to move nearly 1,000 pounds of enriched uranium out of Iran, even if it is largely located at one site. The material would be even heavier and bulkier when taking into account the secure containers it is likely to be stored in. Similar questions have been raised about the feasibility of neutralizing the stockpile in place if it's determined to be impractical to move it. Experts and observers have highlighted the immense time and resources that would be required to try to dilute the purity of any nuclear material on site, processes that typically require industrial machinery under normal conditions, There's other articles that talk about this too. CBS News had an article 2 days ago, why seizing Iran's nuclear stockpile would be one of the riskiest missions in history. The CBS News says the cylinders, the canisters, the steel canisters that contain the nuclear material are too large to carry out in a backpack. They would have to be transported on trucks. At least half are far underground in Iran's Isfahan facility, in the interior of Iran. CBS News claims the rest is likely located underneath a different facility some 70 miles away. Also, it's possible, they say, that Iran moved some of the enriched uranium to a different site. How many troops would it take? CBS News a couple days ago said as many as 1,000 troops could be required to secure a perimeter around the target site. You'd have to protect against possible Iranian drone and missile attacks. You'd have to establish air supremacy. You would need heavy earth-moving equipment to dig into these, dig into the ground to get at this buried material. Also, CBS News says you would need explosives teams to go in and demolish the tunnel entrances and blow paths into the facilities. Also, it would be feared that Iran had booby-trapped the sites. So you'd need to check for that. Oh my, this is interesting. I had never seen this thought before. CBS News says removal of the material rather than destroying it on site would be more desirable. But it would take the most time, in part because of the high likelihood that the Iranians have mixed hundreds of decoy canisters among those that actually contained highly enriched uranium. I had never thought of that. That's something. That they could have decoy uranium canisters. I don't know if they do. That's interesting. That's from the CBS News article, recent article. First I'd heard of that. Also, let's see here. Anyways, there's all of these complexities. I mean, I'm just giving you some of these complexities to this operation. But this is not a simple operation to go in and get the uranium, the buried uranium. Arizona Jack thinks it cannot be done. I mean, I would certainly think that if you have this large amount of U.S. troops going into Iran for days, and at a single site, I mean, look, they're not going to move the site, right? So it would certainly seem that Iran might target those troops. If they're aware of where the troops are, presumably Iran knows where this uranium is. So they know, even now, if the U.S. goes in there to get it, where they're going to be. Not saying it can't be done, but just to give you an idea of some of the difficulties here. Also, I believe I remember reading things about how delicate it is to move. But I can't find that right now. I believe it is our viewer 1776 says huge lead containers. I believe it's large steel containers the size of roughly scuba tanks. But again, there is a story tonight from the Wall Street Journal that says that President Trump is considering this operation. Crispy says first priority is open up the strait, which can easily be done, our viewer Crispy says. Crispy says the coalition is building 30 nations now. I'm not aware of 30 nations in the coalition. That's what Crispy, our viewer, says. One of our viewers, John, says, March to Tehran, book it. What is this statement? Let's see. Now, Politico had an article from March 24th, about a week ago, that said more than 30 nations have signed a joint statement agreeing to work on appropriate efforts to safeguard the Strait of Hormuz, to help open it. You can see here, that's a joint statement from the leaders of UK, France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Japan, Canada, and others on the Strait of Hormuz from March 19th. And they said, we express our readiness to contribute to appropriate efforts. It's not specific about the contribution or the word appropriate, to ensure safe passage through the strait. Hey, by the way, thank you so much to Thomas P0419 gave 20 more memberships. Thomas, that's so nice of you. Thomas has given so many memberships. He is from Sweden. Thomas, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Make sure you thank Thomas if you got a membership, or somebody else if they gave you a membership or a gift subscription. Very nice of Thomas. Maybe we can do a poll question. We can do a poll. Let's do a poll. Oh, also, hey, thank you to Temi Dank for the memberships. Temi gave 10 people memberships. Thank you, Temi Dank. Also, Jennifer Johnson. Thanks for your support, Jennifer Johnson. That's very nice of you, Jennifer. Thank you. Maybe we can do a poll now. And the poll will be, will Trump send in troops to get the enriched uranium? That's a yes or no question, and I'm going to post it in the chat right now. I'm posting it. Now wait till the poll pops up. We'll see what you have to say. Now, why can't I find... Okay. Oh, and also thank you to the East family. The East family who gave 10 memberships. Thanks so much to the East family for the memberships. Very nice of you, the East family. Thank you. Please thank someone if they give you a membership. It's very nice of them. Or a subscription. Okay, here is poll. Oh, we didn't do the poll graphic. Here is the poll graphic. Get ready. You have to think of yes or no. Is it going to be yes or no? What do you think? Okay, very nice. Here we go. Poll graphic done. Oh, some people are posting the emojis that kind of look like that guy. Okay, over on YouTube, 63% say yes, that Trump will send troops in to get the enriched uranium. 63% on YouTube. On Facebook right now, it is 73% on Facebook. How about Twitch? Let's see here. On Twitch, it is 64% yes. It's the same on both. It's the same on YouTube and Twitch. 64%. Well, it's a little different now. Wow. Thank you, by the way, to our subscribers on Twitch, like Twitcher and Midtown Mike and Bogan04, Strong One, Hot Richard. Twitcher, Hugh J, thank you. Guy from KC, thank you. All right, so people voting really think that President Trump is going to send troops in to try to get the enriched uranium. We keep hearing about different things these troops might do, or capture Karg Island or something else. Has President Trump decided yet or not? All right, thank you for voting in our poll. Thanks also to... on Facebook, it ended up being 74% yes. Thanks also to, what happened here? What happened here? Hold on a moment. Hold on a moment. Thanks to all of our YouTube members as well. People like Betsy's Tag and Bernard Tapey, Vigilante, VC Gamer, Taste Vim. These are some of our members on YouTube. I'm a Good Boy, Betsy's Tag, Haruna Q, Nate Pad, is it? Kim K. Carter, Shroomy Steve, the East Family. Again, thank you, the East Family, for the memberships. Austin Batman, Dawn62, Alex Enzo, Amy Celeste, Ian Sophia, Mona EFT, Vanilla Coke, Dana, Chung Peter, Turned Off, Lisa Sawyer. I like that the East Family has the family in the avatar picture. Wow. That's excellent. Crimson Dingo Max, Tried, Chesapeake Glen, thanks for being members. Chris Renfro, Honey Badger. Thanks to all of our members. It is just almost, it's 8:40 a.m. Israel time right now. Guys, 8:40 a.m. Oil price update, if I can find it here. Oh, we have some kind of missile alert? Hold on. Yes, we have an early warning. This will be the 4th of the morning. Early warning in southern Israel. All of the warnings have been for southern Israel. Early missile warning. I'm assuming this is because a missile was detected being fired from Iran. That would be my assumption. I haven't seen. Yes, launches from Iran. Launches from Iran detected. Early warning alert. One of our viewers says, Mika says, what is in southern Israel they are attacking? I cannot say why they're firing at southern Israel right now, but this is the 4th one this morning. I don't believe there's been any direct hits this morning. I haven't heard of any injuries from the missiles this morning. There's one alert area near the Negev Nuclear Research Center, that important nuclear plant, but that's here. As I've said, I don't even know that you would see a warning for that Negev Nuclear Research Center, because I'm sure it's all restricted area there. The warnings are for people, tell the people to go to their shelters. My guess is that maybe they have a separate thing for the Negev Nuclear Research Center, and maybe they have air defense around it and stuff like that. So I don't know, but I don't know that there's a warning they have for that. Hectate says, Iran found a missile to launch so crazy, why do they even try anymore? Any moment now, we should be seeing some alerts. Angelic Slayer says, early morning missile warning. Chris N says $4.59 for regular at Costco in Portland. Hang on a moment here. No alerts yet. We're waiting for the alerts. I haven't had any live cams from southern Israel the whole war, basically. Oh, we'll check marine traffic in a little bit. We are hearing the Jerusalem sound. Okay, there are missile warnings. Dimona is one of them. The area with the city of Dimona in it. You can see these different missile warnings in southern Israel. Missile warnings. Twitter Pated claims there's a new evacuation warning for Beirut. Well, I'll have to check that as well. Missile warnings in southern Israel. Missile warning. I'm going to check in a second and see if there's any updates about what is happening with this missile warning or these missile warnings. I'm a good guy, said Good Goy says they keep trying to hit that area. As Austin says, this is the fourth attack in this area this morning. Okay, most of them have disappeared now. Let me see if I can find any more information about what's going on. Give me a moment. Oh, new warning to southern suburbs of Beirut. Oh, look at this. Thanks to our viewer for letting me know. Southern suburbs of Beirut, the Defense Army continues its operations and attacks on military infrastructure belonging to the terrorist Hezbollah in various parts of the suburbs. You must evacuate immediately. So it sounds like more strikes against Hezbollah targets coming up in Beirut, southern suburbs of Beirut. That was posted about 30 minutes ago. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Do I have a second camera from Beirut? Yes, I do. I'm gonna put up 2 Beirut cameras. We're gonna get rid of Jerusalem and put up 2 Beirut cameras because we need to keep an eye on this. I'm going to put the audio on from Beirut as well. All right, I need a moment here. Let me just get this fixed. We got to get both Beirut cameras up at this point. Let's see. Okay, I am seeing 2 Beirut cameras. Now that's Tel Aviv on the left. And, oh, I got it. There. So we have Beirut in Jerusalem. So there are going to be more strikes in Beirut because they issued another evacuation warning there. I think what I want to do, though, is switch the 2 Beirut cameras. Hear me out on this. So put that one there, and then we're going to move it down. Okay, so we have 2 Beirut cams up. Oh, it's Tel Aviv. I'm sorry. Of course it's Tel Aviv, not Jerusalem. Okay, and then we got to figure out what happened with those latest missile alerts. Let's see what we can find. Let's see what we can find. N12 News says it was intercepted. It was intercepted, the latest missile launch from Iran at southern Israel was intercepted according to N12 News. We are bringing you some live updates here. We got to keep an eye on Beirut. That's the I was going to say, I'm going to hold off on looking at marine traffic because there was an evacuation alert notice for Israel in Beirut. What is this? Hang on a moment. One moment here. Oh, thanks to Evelyn in Maine for mentioning this. This report by OSINT Technical. OSINT Technical had posted that Iran-backed militia drones managed to severely damage an Iraqi Air Force transport aircraft at Baghdad International Airport tonight. Oh, and I guess Kim Hovik posted about this from Faytux Network, claiming that there was a Iraqi militia missile attack. Anyways, I can't confirm this myself. My guess is it very well may be true. I posted a link to Kim Hovik's post in the chat. But possibly a Iraqi transport aircraft damaged tonight. Hey, thanks by the way. Oh, I missed something. I missed someone gave some memberships, I think. Did I miss it? Where is it? Thomas P0419 gave 5 more memberships. Thank you, Thomas from Sweden. That is so nice of you. Thomas P0419. Thank you for all the memberships, Thomas. Also, Alex, I will. Thanks for being a member. Thomas has given a lot of memberships. The Economist had an article tonight called How Iran is Making a Mint from Donald Trump's War. And they say Iran is now earning nearly twice as much from oil sales each day as it did before American and Israeli bombs started falling on February 28th. Now, of course, Iran has sustained lots of damage too. We know that. I need to look at this article. I haven't even read it yet. It's a whole thing. I'll probably check it out later. Almost 2 a.m. Eastern time here. They also have a new article I hadn't seen, The Economist, where the subheadline says the costs of dragging out the conflict could be very high indeed. Hold on a second here. The Economist says each side thinks it has something to gain from continuing the war. Now, why is it that... Okay. Something's up with this. What's happening with the video there? Let's see. Problem with the video. Problem with AFP TV. Stand by. Stand by. All right. Well, while we're waiting for that to get better, we'll make this one bigger. That was incredible glitching. There's Beirut and Tel Aviv, but we're waiting. We're waiting for the second cam to come back. We're waiting for the second camera to come back. I'm not going to really get into the details of that other Economist article either. I need to read that one again when I have a chance. One other thing I want to mention, the Economist talks about the Houthis in an article, and it says, for now, the Houthis have stopped short of using their most potent lever, their ability to disrupt shipping in the Red Sea. Since the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, Saudi Arabia has rerouted roughly 1.8 million barrels a day of oil exports west to its Red Sea terminal at Yanbu. Were the Houthis to disrupt this vital artery by targeting either passing ships or pipelines and infrastructure at Yanbu, while the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, analysts reckon oil could jump from its current price of around $113 a barrel to close to $200 a barrel. That would be enormous if the Houthis started attacking shipping in the Red Sea. Has not happened yet. Oh, we got the other camera back. We are expecting more airstrikes in the southern suburbs of Beirut because Israel has renewed their evacuation order for the southern suburbs of Beirut. So we are expecting more strikes there from Israel. I think it's been several days, at least since I personally saw strikes in Beirut. Robin Bishop Willard says, it wouldn't surprise me if they started attacking shipments in the Red Sea. The Houthis? Did the broadcast pause again? Oh, no, it's back. I was going to check oil prices. I'm sorry. Seems like they're still having a bit of an issue with the stream on the bottom there, the one from AFP. That's what it looks like. So let me try something here. Yeah, the stream seems to be having some issues. Oil prices, I'm seeing, well, 115 for Brent, up about 2.5% today, and about 100 or 101 for U.S. crude, up about 1%. Not a huge difference. compared to yesterday, but higher. Bitcoin briefly earlier tonight went down below 65,000. It is now at about roughly 67,500. I didn't know this. Australia's Prime Minister said on Monday, that's today in Australia, that the government would cut the fuel tax in half for 3 months. I did not know that in Australia. Maybe our Australian viewers had heard that. Hey, look, Prime Minister, is it Albanese? We're having the fuel tanks. This is the Prime Minister of Australia. We are having cutting in half the fuel tanks for 3 months to save you money when you fill up. Conflict overseas is pushing up prices at home, and we know Australians are feeling the pressure. Winter Disco says, Aussie here, yes, it's happening. Albanese, says Doug the Spud. Look at this. Australians always look out for each other. Right now, you can do that by only buying what you need. Wow. He says, we've also released our national fuel security plan, working with the states and territories to make sure fuel keeps flowing to where it's needed most. Tiger XH is in North Australia. Was that a boom? I thought we might have heard a boom, but that could have just been like a truck boom or something. Again, works. Hold on, it was a boom. It wasn't new attack. New attack. Look, right there. It was a boom. I was right. New strike in, hold on a second here. New strike in Beirut. New strike in Beirut. Breaking news. New strike in Beirut, Lebanon. The Israel had about an hour ago had reiterated their evacuation order for the southern suburbs of Lebanon, and there was just a new strike. It did not appear on the other camera, and this camera didn't catch it right away, but it did catch it right after. Israel saying it's targeting Hezbollah-related targets. MTV Lebanon News, who I follow, which is a local news outlet there, they say Israeli airstrike on Beirut's southern suburbs. Look at this. Look at the smoke. Look at the smoke over Beirut from this latest Israeli strike. Alicia wrote to me on X and was wondering if the amount of U.S. planes flying so much for this war might be hitting our oil reserves. I haven't heard anything about that. I don't know that the quantity would be enough to significantly affect the oil reserves, but it's an interesting thought. I wonder if it's just not a big enough quantity. Let's see. You know, it's interesting, though. I am seeing something online suggesting that possibly it's affecting prices for commercial airlines. I don't know. Again, I haven't heard anything about that, but I'll keep an eye out for reporting that might suggest something like that. I mean, I know that the war is affecting prices, but the specific claim was that the military use of fuel was having big effects. Phil's Mod Squad says war is horrible for everyone. Give me a moment. Give me a moment here. What's happening? Oh, hold on. The other camera just spotted this too. The Reuters camera just spotted this and zoomed in on it as well. Our viewer Nathan claims that all USAF aircraft just went dark. That happens when a big attack is going to happen. That's what our viewer Nathan said. I don't know if that's true. That's what Nathan said. What I do want to check, though, is it's marine traffic. Hey, look, it's marinetraffic.com. There is marine traffic. You are seeing, oopsie. There is the Strait of Hormuz right now. Not many ships in it. Some of these ships could be... These ships look like maybe they're about to go out. See these ships here? China owner and China owner and crew. That's a bulk carrier, that one. This is a tanker. We've seen... That's an Indian... Looks like... Is that an Indian ship? Oh, it says Chinese owner and crew. We've seen ships exit this way, going around Rock Island. Looks like these three could be going. Why don't we take a quick look at what happened in the last day? This is the last day. ...24 hours. The last 24 hours in the Strait of Hormuz. From marine traffic. Ship tracking and marine analytics provider marinetraffic.com. I got to speed this up. It's going too slow. Speeding up now. Okay, there you go. So I think this ship, Tawanina, already made it through. I think last night we were seeing it get close. Let's look up Tawanina. Give me a moment here. Let me just get it on. Let me get it on the screen for you. One moment. I'm getting marine traffic up for you on the screen, but I want to look up Tawanina. Oh, not Tawanina. Tawana. Tawana. Am I signed in? Yeah, I am signed in. Tawana is an oil tanker. It is sailing under the flag of Curacao. It says reported destination Chinese owner and crew. For whatever that's worth. And if we look on its track, it's a crude oil tanker. And if we look at the past track, I bet it's going to look like it went through the strait. Yes, so this is a Chinese-owned ship. And in the last day or so, it approached the Strait of Hormuz. Then this is without tracking. So presumably what it did is it went around Rock Island and then it appeared on tracking down here. And now it's down here. Well, no, that's projected. But what we do know is it went through here and then it appeared here. So that appears to be a ship that, an oil tanker, Chinese owned, that for whatever reason, I don't know the dealings, Iran has let go through. Oops. Give me a moment here. Give me one sec. Why am I seeing that thing up there? Oh, I know why. Sorry. Let's go back to marine traffic for a second. I was replaying the last 24 hours of traffic in the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, and we saw that it looked like Tawana, a ship with a Chinese crew and Chinese owner, went through. Most ships not moving here, as you can see, not really making a big movement. That one, Jia Zhang Da, looks like it might have gone through. The Jia Zhang Da ship. Let's look up that one. Jia Dang Da? I spell it right? Bet I didn't. No, Zhang is XI. There it is. Jia Zhang Da. It is a sailing under the flag of Panama. Destination, it says Oman. What happened to this ship? It's a bulk carrier in the last day or so. Did it go through the Strait of Hormuz? Yes, it does look like it did, maybe? When was this? That says March 29th. Did it just go right across? Did it really do this? Uh-oh, we're having a bit of an issue with one of the streams. Seems like it went right across, but usually ships have not been doing this. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. Looks like it got out, though. That's another one that got out. Okay, hold on a second. We got an issue here. We have stand by for the other Beirut cam to come back. I mean, we have not been seeing ships go straight across like that, so I don't know if it really did that. One of our viewers said probably not straight across. It seems strange to me if that's where it went. Put the volume on here. Anyways, let's just go back. I was showing you, guys, the last 24 hours in Strait of Hormuz. Let's just keep playing here. Trillion says still not a tanker. A bulk carrier, not a tanker, true. There's a ship called Manali. That might have gone in. So, normal day, you have about 130 ships would go in and out. That's certainly not happening. But you're seeing a few go in and out. I'm sure this is all with Iran's approval in whatever arrangements they're making to go in and out. Oops. Normally, they are not being tracked, maybe turn their transponder off around here. That's what it seems like. Trump said 20 we're going to go through at some point. Did he say today? I don't even know. I'd have to. We heard what he said. I forget the exact details of what he said about the 20 tankers. Well, Pakistan had said already. Sorry. Pakistan had announced, yesterday, that 20 were going to be allowed through 2 per day for 10 days. They had already announced that. I don't know if that's what he was referring to. Anyways, that's about 2/3 of the day yesterday, and you can see not much has gone back and forth through the strait. Is there a new alert or not? Let's see. Oh, there's a rocket alert in northern Israel. That's what that is. But, I mean, you can just see we've been showing you the last 24 hours and just not much activity there. You know? That is marinetraffic.com. There is a ship called Mac Hope, which looks like it may try to go through. Maybe it has arrangements made. Oh, also these 2 CSCL ships, which may be China ships. CSCL Indian Ocean, CSCL Arctic Ocean, and also Mac Hope. But do they go further or do they just stop? Then there's one called Maria. Looks like it might have gone around. So Mac Hope, Maria, the CSCL ones look like they're making their way in recent hours. Mac Hope, Maria. So it looked like Maria might have gone through. Let's look up Maria. Maria is a cargo ship right there. It is sailing under the flag of Comoros. And it says destination Bandar Abbas, Iran. I don't know. We don't have much of a past track on that one, so I'm not going to worry about that one. And then we have, how about this one? CSL Indian Ocean. CSCL Indian Ocean. That is a container ship that is sailing under the flag of Hong Kong with a Chinese owner and crew, and that is a container ship. Looks like that might end up go through. Then what was that other one we saw? If we go back here, Maria. Oh, Mac Hope was approaching. What is Mac Hope? Bulk carrier. Chinese owner in crew, it says. Flag of Panama. So for whatever it's worth, as I just showed you, a number of the few ships that seem to have gone through during the last day or are looking like they're about to go through have Chinese owner and crew on them. Mag says, do they get charts of the safe route? Well, I'm sure they're told where to go. I'm sure they're checking in with Iran about where to go. There's a rocket alert in northern Israel. That's not, I don't believe that's from missile fire. More alerts? Again, I just see one rocket alert from northern Israel. One rocket alert. Why is this all messed up? Oh, something I did. I messed up something here. What did I mess up? I messed up something on the screen. No, I didn't. Everything's fine. Oh, I know what it is. Sorry. All right. It is 2:30 a.m. Eastern time. Maybe we'll stay on for a few more minutes. Maybe we'll stay on for a few more minutes. I had come on tonight to try to give you some more coverage and some updates. Because we had to get off the air earlier today. Update from Lebanon. Manny Fabian, Times of Israel. 3 IDF soldiers were seriously wounded and several others were moderately hurt in Hezbollah attacks and other incidents in southern Lebanon yesterday. In one incident yesterday afternoon, 2 soldiers were seriously hurt by an anti-tank guided missile. In a separate incident, a soldier was seriously injured and 2 were moderately hurt by a Hezbollah drone that struck near Israeli forces in South Lebanon. 1 more soldier was moderately wounded in an operational accident, the Army adds. The troops were all taken to hospitals for treatment. Yes, thanks. Lou enjoyed hearing the interview with Manny. We interviewed Manny on our previous stream. You can go watch it if you want. He was nice enough to come on and answer a bunch of our questions. So I very much enjoyed having him on the show, on the coverage. Allison claims there are videos of some of those soldiers getting attacked. I haven't seen it, although maybe who posted it? Like Hezbollah? I'm not sure. I'll have to... Well, I don't know if I want to see it, but I'll look around. I'll see what I notice when I'm looking for other things. Tace Vim says it's a tough terrain to fight in. Remember, Israel has begun a large military operation in southern Lebanon after Hezbollah started firing rockets into Israel after the war started a few weeks ago. The videos are on X, Allison says. Thanks, Michael Ramirez, for shouting out our moderators. Really appreciate all of our moderators. Oops, you know what I didn't have up here? Let's see. Carms is moderating right now. Hey, Carms is over there on YouTube. Thanks, Carms. Also, we have moderating people like Good Luck Duck on Twitch. Thank you. Hey, thanks Guy from KC for the gift subscription. Also, thanks to Dean Goulberry for subscribing on Twitch. Also, thank you to our Facebook moderators, Kay Lowry Body, Margaret Riley, Andrea Holder, Linda Belk, Larry, Misha on X, thank you. You're looking at aftermath of an airstrike, Israeli airstrike in Beirut. Hang on a moment. I just saw a video online of this strike, but from like ground level, but at a distance. I'll link to it in the chat. Can't really see that much in the video. The replay, you won't really see anything because it wasn't on camera, the replay. It was it panned over. You heard a boom and then it panned over to the smoke after. A bit of an unrelated story, but the U.S. is allowing a Russian oil tanker to go to Cuba. That is happening. You can see here, Trump says he has no problem with Russian oil tanker bringing relief to Cuba despite blockade. That's from AP. When asked if a New York Times report that the tanker would be allowed to reach Cuba was true, Trump said, "I told them if a country wants to send some oil into Cuba right now, I have no problem whether it's Russia or not." Cuba has been under a U.S. oil blockade. Tracking data shows the oil tanker carrying approximately 730,000 barrels of oil was just off the eastern tip of the island on Sunday night. Oh, maybe we can find it on marine traffic. And slated to arrive on Tuesday. The vessel is sanctioned by the United States, the EU, and the UK following the war in Ukraine. Trump, whose government has come at Cuba more aggressively than any U.S. government in recent history, has effectively cut Cuba off from key oil shipments in an effort to force regime change. The blockade has had devastating effects on civilians, leaving many desperate. Island-wide blackouts have roiled Cubans already grappling with years of crisis, and lack of gasoline and basic resources has crippled hospital and slashed public support. Experts say that the anticipated shipment could produce about 180,000 barrels of diesel, enough to feed Cuba's daily demand for 9 or 10 days. Trump on Sunday said it dismissed the idea that allowing the boat to reach Cuba would help President Putin of Russia. He said it doesn't help him. He loses one boatload of oil. That's all it is. He says, I'd prefer letting it in, whether it's Russia or anybody else, because the people need heat and cooling and all of the other things. Maybe we can find that on marine traffic. Can we find the boat on marine traffic? Yes, we can. Look, it's the boat we just talked about. The Anatoly Kolodnin, flying under the flag of Russia. There it is. That is the tanker, a crude oil tanker that's going to Cuba. Live tracking 8 minutes ago. Oh my gosh, guys, amazing. Uncredible, as you like to say in the chat. We can see that is the Russian ship off the coast of Cuba. Right there. Route forecast. That's the route forecast. That is the forecast route of the Russian tanker ship. That would be about 5 a.m. this morning Eastern. Looks like it says estimated time arrival around 3 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. That is it. That is the ship with the projected route. It is an oil tanker, which will provide about 10 days of diesel for the island. You can find that on marinetraffic.com. Reuters also says airlines face fare dilemma. Airlines face fare dilemma as fuel spike threatens travel demand. Global airlines have begun to hike fares and cut capacity to cope with the sudden surge in the oil price. But the industry's ability to remain profitable may depend on whether consumers pull back on flying as gasoline costs threaten household budgets. One expert they talked to said airlines face an existential challenge. They will need to cut fares to stimulate weakening demand, while higher fuel costs will be pushing them to increase fares. A perfect storm. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby told ABC News last week that fares would need to rise 20% for the airline to cover the higher fuel costs. Low-cost carriers could struggle the most since given their passengers are more price sensitive than the corporate customers and wealthy consumers who have been increasingly targeted by premium rivals like Delta and United. Yes, I'm looking right now. Bloomberg had an article last week that said that United Airlines CEO said ticket prices may have to go up by 20% if jet fuel prices remain elevated for longer. What is this thing? This is from the United Nations. Some of our viewers mentioned this, like Pratam. Antonio Guterres of the United Nations, Secretary General, says, I strongly condemn Sunday's incident during which an Indonesian peacekeeper of the UN interim force in Lebanon was killed amidst hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah. Another Indonesian peacekeeper was seriously injured. This is just one of a number of recent incidents in Lebanon that have jeopardized the safety and security of peacekeepers. What happened in this incident? I don't know. I have to look it up. Here. A peacekeeper was tragically killed last night when a projectile exploded in a UNIFIL position in Lebanon. Another was critically injured. No one should lose their life serving the cause of peace. We do not know the origin of the projectile. We have launched an investigation to determine all the circumstances. That's as fighting, rages between. Oops, we have to switch this between. Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. Thank you, Braden Kemp, for being a member. Thank you, Braden. Braden, that's a thing that YouTube is fixing. Should be fixed soon. Let's see here. I think we might be getting close to that time here, guys. It is getting close to 2 a.m. my time. Getting close to 2 a.m. my time. You know? But I appreciate everyone joining the stream for our additional night coverage. And we will be having more coverage as things develop. So more coverage coming. But I appreciate people tuning in for our late night live stream. And if you want, subscribe, follow the channel. Turn on the notifications. I never know when we're going to be doing more. I don't know in advance what our schedule is, but if you turn on the free notifications, then you will get a notification whenever we go live beforehand. They're free. You can find... the mods will post the link to the free notifications. You can also look in the description of this video on Facebook and YouTube and find the sign up to the notifications there. What's the stock market going to do tomorrow? I don't know. Are the futures being traded yet, or the futures aren't open yet? I don't even remember. When did the futures open? Who knows? What time? Are they open now? Futures trading is open, says Barry. I'm seeing the Dow about even, S&P up a little bit, NASDAQ up a little bit. Jacques says it's open. Sunday at 5 p.m. At 6 p.m. they open. All right, so they're open. Let's see. Hey, so I really appreciate people being here. I will post updates on my X account. Whoa. Sorry. I will post updates on my X account, news updates at Lookner. You can follow me there for breaking news updates at Lookner on X. And, that should be a little darker. I think. Yes. Let's see here. But I really appreciate you guys tuning in and everybody sending me messages and comments. Sorry I can't get to all the comments. We read some comments on the air during this broadcast, though. Hey, huge thanks to our moderators. You guys are awesome. We could not have the chats without our moderators. We had some moderators here late night. Carms over there on YouTube has been there. Hey, Carms, thank you. I got to get a little rest myself. Good Luck Duck on Twitch, thank you. Linda Belk, Larry, Misha moderate for us on X. K. Larry Body, Margaret Riley, Andrea Holder over on Facebook. Thank you so much for modding. I got to thank our Facebook subscribers like Dolly Clark and Brian Davio and Kay and Margaret. Thanks for subscribing over there too. Hey, thanks to everybody for supporting the channel. That is really nice of you guys. That is what a lot of people gave memberships tonight and supported on Twitch too. So thanks for all of your support of the channel. I think I got everybody. But that's what allows a channel to exist, so big thanks. And let's see here. Thanks, Cherry Cola, for watching. And another good way to find out when we're live, guys. Follow us on X at Agenda Free TV. I always post there when we're live. I post there when we're coming on the air. Give you a heads up over there. Post updates about the channel at Agenda Free TV. By the way, we just got memberships from, who was that? Dazzle. Dazzle gave 10 memberships. Thanks so much to Dazzle for the memberships. Thank you, Dazzle. So nice of you. Yeah, Alan, we mentioned the price of oil earlier. Alan mentioned the price of oil. We had been talking about that earlier. About 115 Brent, about 100 US, or 101 US. Also, thanks Gringo and Evelyn in Maine for being members. Thank you. Let's see here. Hey, we do have a chat where you can chat with other viewers when we're not live, the Discord chat. Check it out. It's free. A lot of our viewers like doing the Discord chat. It's the same link as the free notifications link. Check it out. Also, thanks to our Discord mod so much for helping on Discord. And also, if you are watching on YouTube and you want to turn on the notifications there, which I would recommend, what you need to do is as follows. You need to subscribe to the channel and then click the bell and choose all notifications. And if you're already subscribed, well, make sure you click the bell and choose all notifications. What am I looking at on my screen here? Some meeting or something? It is... Oh, I'm not going to bother with that. All right, hold on a second here. And if there's something absolutely huge that happens, I can always come back on the air. But we'll be definitely having more coverage for you. Let's see here. Hey, I want to thank our Twitch subscribers again. Really appreciate you, Twitch subscribers. Guy from KC, and thanks for the gift membership, Guy. I appreciate that. DSPBB. Seed Music. Bogan, thanks for subscribing. Wall Street Shaggy. 7MP. And who else there? Zing Dingaling, thanks for subscribing. Strong One, thank you. And all of our other Twitch subscribers, thank you so much. And our YouTube members like UV Lightning, Evelyn in Maine, Cherry Cola, Haruna Q, Bernard Tapey, Turned Off, VG Gamer, Chung Peter, I'm a Good Goy, and who else? That guy from That Thing, Blackfoot Fred, Ruth Anderson, Allison Fowler, Braden Kemp, Haruna Q, Cherry Cola. Thank you, members. Vigilante, Shroomy Steve, Jonathan Morris. Thank you, Chris Renfro. That guy from That Thing. All of our new members as well. All right, thanks, Sepulgante, for watching. Sepulgalante. Thank you, Taste Vim. Connor Up, thank you for watching. Josette White, thank you for watching. Coston, thank you for watching. Honey Bunch of Slugs, thanks for watching. All right, we're getting ready to wrap this up, guys. It's our time to wrap up this live stream. It is our time to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up right now. Cami Duda, thanks for watching. Ann Spencer, Lindsay Wessel, Ed Scarborough, Melody Gordon, thank you. Did I thank... Oh, you know what I didn't thank? I don't think I thanked Chelina Metro for the Facebook stars. I think I thanked Brian Davio. All right. Anyways, hey guys, thank you again for watching. Wrapping this up now. But if there's some kind of huge development, we can come back on the air, and I'm sure we'll be covering it more in the coming days. All right. I'm just doing a check here, making sure I'm not missing anything. Last minute. I don't think I am. What can I say? All right. That is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you soon with more live breaking news coverage right here at Agenda Free TV.